All right, all right. Hello. Welcome everyone back to the first happy hour show, Big K, of 2025.
We're
How are you
back.
doing? We're
I'm doing
back.
great, man. We're
We're
back.
live.
We're ready to go.
Back for
Ready
another
to
one.
back for another
Another
year.
year. Another year. Also back with us is Brandon from buildthetech.com. How was your New Year, sir?
Dude, it's good, but I feel like I've been in a constant state of coldness for probably the past 2 or 3 weeks, dude. It is freezing on the East Coast right now.
Yeah, this is like the I guess coldest winter we've had, I think, in a couple of years at
Yeah,
least.
it
I woke up
is.
in the I woke up in the 30s in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
I
It
didn't
was
even
like
know I had,
50s in Florida,
I
and I
had to
was
go
just like,
find a
yeah,
jacket somewhere.
glad
Yeah.
I'm not there right now. But yeah. And Herbs, man, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back on.
Heck yeah,
Guess
yeah.
I didn't piss you guys off too much last time.
No, not at all. It's good to hear
Your
you with
ratings
the
didn't tank too far.
hear you with a full signal, not from the bowels of
Oh, the
Vegas
lobby. That's
hotel.
right. That's where that was. It was a
Uh,
lobby of like the Park MGM or
yeah,
one of the.
and you'd cut out every now and then, but we still got the message, so it was all good.
Yeah.
And we're also waiting on Crypto Coffee, so looking forward to that. He'll be by. And we got some trivia probably we're going to do. DJ Cryptomatic's been doing the pregame shows, so we're going to wait for him to raid over, which should happen shortly on that. What else is going on?
Sounded fun. Sounded fun over there.
Yeah, he's got the island vibes tonight. He usually does a theme
that's-
show.
that's
So
my style.
tonight was the reggae and islandsman. So I'm all about that, as everyone knows. This perfect branding. Even though I'm in the forest today, I just thought it would go better with winter. I needed some warmth, and real like scorching sun warmth. The beach is nice, but it's just this feels warmer.
That's
like
the
on set.
scorching Mexican sun over there.
Yes, with my Trump Donald Trump sweatshirt.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shoot, pop
Collect
culture.
Trump
Vogue,
cards.
Vogue, nice.
Yes. Oh. Recognize that, Rex?
I do.
All right.
I do.
You don't have it on now, do you? All right.
I don't.
And yeah, man. So first show of the year. Welcome if you're new here or if you find your way here later on. I am Cabana Crypto. I've never created a coin, which also means I've never rugged a coin. And we bill ourselves as informal but informative and fun with finance and all that stuff. We talk a lot of crypto and have a lot of fun doing it. And right over here is Big K, my dude, who has been here pretty much from the beginning. So welcome everyone. And since it is happy hour, what are we drinking this evening? I have a bullet on the rocks right here, and I have not sipped it yet. And
I'm just
yes,
drinking
what do you have there, Big K?
A little Cabernet. It's the decoy. This is of the Duckhorn portfolio. You're lesser of them all, but still a fantastic for a $20 bottle of wine. It's right on. So
all right. So we got the bullet, we got the decoy. Rags, what you got, man?
Hey, my mind-altering substance of choice this evening.
The
I
Z,
am a Zinfluencer, ladies and
the
gentlemen.
influencer.
Oh, okay.
You should coin that and approach the company to sponsor your show.
I should, yeah. But I
Herbs,
lost the
man, you got
token,
anything
they
going
won't-
on
they
over
won't
there?
Look at me.
I should go open something, but it's only 3:00 here. So
It's 5:00 somewhere, like it is
Yeah.
here, right, Rags? So, yeah.
Yes.
And Big K, five
That's
o'clock
right.
where you are?
it's 6 where I'm at actually.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're in Atlantic Standard Time. This is the half of the,
the old
year that
Atlantic
we're-
standard that throws.
We didn't
everyone
change.
off.
We don't do daylight savings time. I think that's
same here in Arizona. We don't have to change, but I never have any idea what time the East Coast is or the.
Yeah, they're doing something over there. It's fine.
Sometimes I pull into Vegas, it's an hour earlier. Sometimes I pull in at the same time. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And speaking of those in later time zones, just a quick shout out to any of our followers or friends or community members out in California who might be affected by those fires. It's just a crazy situation out there. I have some contacts out there, and it's just I can't even imagine like what they're going through. And yeah, man, just like entire streets, blocks, all the way out to the ocean, just burnt. If anybody ever saw that like Joe Rogan clip, I think it was like from July last year.
Wild. Yeah.
Just talking about the fire. It wasn't the Trump thing. It was like the firemen. And he's just like, California's just gotten lucky. He's like, it's just the wind has blown the right way every time. He's like, we're screwed if the wind blows the wrong way. And
he said, there's nothing. He said, what got me, he said, there's nothing that's going to stop that fire from traveling to the hills all the way to the ocean and wiping LA out.
Yep.
And it happens.
It was just crazy.
I don't know if you saw the LA Times article today, though. They had like a reservoir with 117 million gallons or something like that was empty for maintenance. The one that would have fed a bunch of fire hydrants and stuff like that. So, but it was completely empty.
Oh man. Yeah. I've read a lot of stuff that's rather disturbing and also not surprising considering the government out there. But
yeah, it's horrible though.
That's another story for another time, I suppose. Let's bring some more cheer into the room. Crypto Coffee, man, how you doing?
What are we talking about? From the river to the sea?
Yeah.
Wildfires, and you just.
Well, I support the current thing.
All right. What is the current thing that you're drinking right now?
Oh, I don't have anything. Yeah, maybe alkaline water, but
okay.
Sorry, guys.
Coffee chiming in with some alkaline water. There you go. And
I was listening to the Mark Zuckerberg Joe Rogan stream.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that.
I love the rebrand. I gotta say, maybe I'm like suggestible, but like, he just seems like a normal dude.
Well, he's been coming around for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And there are a lot of doubters. So, do you think it's legit, Brandon?
I think that he was happy that Trump took office and this whole change of environment happened because I think he wanted to push back the whole time. He was just afraid of the repercussions. And I think now Trump's giving him a voice, and maybe conservatives are giving him a voice now to be able to say, hey, this shit's messed up.
Yeah, like he can be himself finally.
Yeah.
Kinda,
yeah.
Well, I like this version, so I hope we get more of it. Shout out to the chats really quick before we get going. What's up, Pamp? What's up, Jay? What's up, DJ and Dougie? Kaiser. Hexkin Greenhorn. Maddie Allen. What's up? A wild SJ has appeared. Hello, friend. Henny Boy. What's going on? Red Squirrel. Mango Junkie. Hexy Cat. What is up? Ashtar. Adi. What's up? Hey, Hudson. Any relation to Kate? Crypto Ewok. Spike. The DJ Cryptomatic Raid. What is going on, Mr. DJ? Excellent island set. We were listening to that in the green room. Francis Powell. Big Kahuna. Jaren Section is a friend of Brandon. So, yep. Tarnweig. And man, we got like a lot of people here. I can't even go through them all. This is crazy.
Pretty solid group. Nice.
Yeah, I'd say pretty cool, man. We'll just end up with Logan's Run. Tam, how you doing? I've got to shout out my man Lights Out. Yeah, just imagine getting choked out by Zuck for shame. Oh, that's outstanding. Well, I lost my light, but it appears as though I'm still kind of all right. But and Dustin, man, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. So I'll try to fix that in the meantime. But yeah, man. How's everybody's New Year? Big K, how you doing? Let me try to fix this light, and then we'll get into some more stuff.
Oh yeah, sure. Fix the light away. New Year's, awesome. Had a good time. I was up in Chicago and saw Pretty Lights. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
It was an enjoyable show. Always manages to mix up some stuff that I'm like surprised that I enjoy it. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do. What was it? He did. I loved and the announcing of the band as the Chicago starting lineup of the Bulls. He did like that for like the for the announcing of the band. Very awesome. Did like a Phil
Nice.
Collins, did some Prince, did some all sorts of good remixes in there. Really fun. That was a great show. So I had a good New Year's. I don't know. Other than that, I was just enjoying myself on the Hex conference yesterday. That was a enjoyable panel that I had. I was with DJ Cryptomatic, who just rated us. He was enjoyable co-panelist. So yeah, that was great. Anybody else?
And you were on with Briz too, right?
Yeah, with Bruceology and
That was
Whitney.
a good panel. I remember I caught some of that.
Oh, I was just helping another Hexagon change his car battery today. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you know George?
Of the jungle?
Yes, I do know
BigK George from Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there only one?
Well,
Name
I
of
mean, I'm
John
sure there's more than one, but there's a Hexagon one that I'm aware of that
The bear market's hitting everybody so hard. People's cars aren't even starting anymore. It's terrible.
yeah, I got to do battery swaps, and yeah, I feel you. Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
But we're everywhere. I'm telling you, we're like maybe a mold or a bacteria. Yeah.
A fungus?
Yeah.
Borg-like creature. Yeah.
It's one way to describe us. But anyway, while the room fills up, the chat and all that, we closed out 2024 with some 2024 current events trivia. So let's start
We're gonna
2024.
we're gonna go right into trivia.
Yeah, we're gonna just do right into it because we have a lot of topics to get to. So
Yeah,
as the room fills
let's
up,
do it.
yeah,
Let's
as the
do
room
it.
fills up, we'll give it time. But we're gonna do some pop culture and sports, and let's see if how you guys do. I believe who won it last time. Brandon, did you win last time?
You
So defending champion here.
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. I didn't study or nothing.
He edged out Shillgates. That was great.
Yes, the shield gates at the very end. All right, so it's my job to get you guys out of the first round. Also, panelists, if you could, please turn off your interfaces.
Change your comment.
Turn them to private chat, and for audience participation purposes, please take time in answering your question. I'll try to repeat them twice, except for Brandon, who just likes to blurt out his answers right away before I even get the question out. All right, here we go. Big K. My job to get you out of the first round, so I hope y'all get out of the first round. Name any speaker or panelist who appeared at this week's 5th annual Hex conference. We'll keep it Hex, and then we'll get into the pop culture.
Oh well,
Go for it.
Since
it's the easy one. Oh, yourself? You're going for yourself? Very nice.
No,
See?
no. Actually, if I had to pick, what's something that I enjoyed? Can I say just like a panel I enjoyed, just besides just like a person?
No bonus points, but
I enjoyed the debate between Axis and Dipcatcher yesterday about inflation and the Hex, the ecosystem in general. Thought that was a really good. That was a pretty decent panel. I was glad to hear that. So those gentlemen.
Nice. Brandon from Build the Tech, man.
Mm-hmm.
What you got? Can you name somebody?
There's this guy. He wears a cowboy hat.
I think he's in the chat
I
too.
think his name's Matty. It's either Allen or All In. I can't tell yet, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that guy.
I believe he's all in. Correct. Crypto Coffee.
Well, I'll just be honest and say I didn't watch a whole lot of it. Maybe the Aubrey de Grey bit was nice.
Hey, that was on last night, I believe.
Yeah.
And Herbs, who you got, man?
I'm just going to shout out SJ. How's that? So I know she's in here too.
In the chat, a lot of these.
Oh yeah. Also,
Excellent.
cheers to the upgrade on Sticker Guy. No offense, Sticker Guy, but having Rachel working backstage that's supreme. So
we love you, Sticker Guy, but yes,
we love you, Sticker Guy.
There's a certain pleasantness about Miss Fashion Coder. Is that a good descriptive?
There you
word?
go. You said it very nicely.
Yes.
Better be politically correct about it.
Yes, quite pleasant. All right, well, let's get into it. Here we go. Big K,
Yes, sir.
What iconic game show had its host step down in 2024? The $1,000 pyramid or $10,000 pyramid, excuse me, Wheel of Fortune, or The Price is Right? What iconic game show had its host step down in 2024? The $10,000 pyramid, Wheel of Fortune, or The Price is Right?
I don't actually. I mean, Price is Right. I don't think is right because like Bob Barker died a little bit ago. Like that wasn't last year. I don't know the $10,000 pyramid, or did Pat Sajak retire? He's the one who had a magic. Would imagine would be the retirer, right? He'd step down. I guess I'll say Wheel of Fortune.
Is that your final answer?
I hate when you say that, man. Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Answer is Wheel of Fortune. Congrats to Crypto Ewok and Silver.
I had to read. I wasn't sure. I mean, he's old, so that made sense.
Brandon, which artist did not release a country album in 2024? Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or Post Malone? Which artist did not release a country album in 2024? Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or Posty?
Say Taylor Swift. Final answer.
Bit of a trick question, but you just sailed right through it. Taylor Swift is the correct answer. Nice job. Crypto Coffee, what Marvel character starred alongside Deadpool in their new movie? The Hulk, Wolverine, or Storm? What Marvel character starred alongside Deadpool in their new movie? The Hulk, Wolverine, or Storm?
Wolverine.
Crypto Coffee.
No. Take it back.
Is
fuck. No,
Yep.
It wasn't the Hulk. It was that other big guy. Storm. I don't know who Storm is, so that one.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Oh man, Coffee, you had it right the first
No,
time.
I had it right and I fucked it up. Yeah.
I hate to do this since you just got here, but Crypto Coffee, you've been rugged. All right. Herbs.
Well, I actually feel good that I'm not going to be the first one.
I found a rekindled love for my Honda Odyssey from that movie.
I'm just gonna leave that up there. Herbs, what decade's old movie premiered a sequel? Edward Scissorhands, Addams Family Values, or Beetlejuice? What decade's old movie premiered a sequel? Edward Scissorhands, Addams Family Values, or Beetlejuice?
I'm going to go ahead and say Beetlejuice because I think I saw something about that last year, and I told my wife I'd never seen the original.
The correct answer is indeed Beetlejuice.
Sweet. All right.
Nice work.
It's a legit movie.
All right.
I
Just gonna
enjoyed
leave
it.
the coffee thing up there until we get somebody to join him. Big K. What Batman villain what Batman villain received their own spin-off show on HBO? Was it the Riddler, Poison Ivy, or the Penguin? What Batman villain received their own spin-off show on HBO? The Riddler, Poison Ivy, or the Penguin?
What? I was gonna say Joker because of the Joker popularity, but that's not even an option. So that's cool.
So it
because
might
I
be
would've-
saving
I
yourself
would've
from that.
For
Yeah.
sure, gotten it wrong. So that's cool. Poison Ivy is too whack for that to be the answer. I know that's not it. It's the Riddler or what's the Penguin? I don't know. I mean, I think a Penguin one would be cooler, but maybe the Riddler. What? Maybe the Riddler's the ticket. Maybe I can't believe that shit. Really, the Riddler, the Penguin.
Chat's lighting it up. Good job, chat.
Well, good job, chat. Back. I'll say. I want to say the Penguin, but I'm gonna say the Riddler.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, Golden Globes winner. Come on, Riddler. Sure. Yeah. Final answer. Go with it. I'll go
Final
with it.
answer, Riddler. The
I
answer
want to say the
is
Penguin.
Penguin. Wow, this is not taking long. Sorry, Big K.
Get me
You've
out
been
of
rough.
here.
All right, and then there were two. Rags to Riches, aka Brandon from Build the Tech. As we have Big K and coffee in the green room. Let's see here. What's next? What platform, Brandon, did the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight stream on? Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Peacock? What platform streamed the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight? Netflix, Amazon, or Peacock?
Netflix, final answer.
Netflix, final answer.
Yeah.
Verified by Ewok. Correct.
Yep. That one I would have got.
All right. We have an instigator in the chat. Brenton, come on, Rags. Take on the lawyer. All right. All right. Mr. Lawyer, here we go.
You knew how many retards practice law. You wouldn't, you wouldn't give me such credit.
Thousands of divorce lawyers in my city. So,
during their only debate as presidential candidates, what game did Donald Trump and Joe Biden challenge each other to face off in? Tennis, golf, or pickleball? During their only debate as presidential candidates, what game did Donald Trump and Joe Biden challenge each other to face off in? Tennis, golf,
yeah, I can't see Trump.
or pickleball.
I can't see Trump playing pickleball or tennis.
I want to see
I'm
that.
going to go with golf because that's his. I don't know who challenged who, but I'm going to say Trump and golf.
It was pretty much Trump, but then yeah, Biden. Well, actually, I don't even know who started that. It might have been
It was
Biden,
Biden.
but yeah, Trump was not having that at all. Hexkin Hill confirms Herbs is still in.
Nice. All right. Hey,
All right, we roll on. Brandon, which actor published an op-ed in the New York Times asking Joe Biden to step aside as the Democratic presidential nominee? George Clooney, Brad Pitt, or Matt Damon? Which actor published an op-ed in the New York Times asking Joe Biden to step aside as the Democratic presidential nominee? George Clooney, Brad Pitt, or Matt Damon?
George Clooney, final answer.
He's just on it. So is Crypto Ewok. George Clooney is.
I would have gotten that one too. Damn it.
Herbs.
Can't wait to see this.
All right. We're Hawk 2ing now. What was Hawk 2 a girl Haley Welch's end of year controversy? DUI, failed meme coin, or leaked sex tape? Not sure if I'd want to see that. Anyway, what was Hawk 2 a girl Haley Welch's end of year controversy?
It was
DUI.
a failed meme coin. Final answer.
He's just not fooling around. Failed meme coin.
Although I would watch the video.
Is the missus cool with that? All right.
Yeah, she's fine.
All right, good.
She's fun as hell.
Sounds like it. Brandon, what song did Luke Combs and Tracy Chapman duet at the Grammys? Fast Car, Give Me One Reason, Beautiful Crazy. What song did Luke Combs and Tracy Chapman duet at the Grammys? Fast Car, Give Me One Reason, or Beautiful Crazy?
I don't know. So I'll go with Fast Car. Final answer.
That's a good default, and you are correct.
That's what I would have guessed too. I didn't know
Fast
it, but I
Car
would have guessed it. Yeah.
is correct. What legendary football coach, this is to Herbs, what legendary football coach was let go from his longtime NFL team? Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, or Dan Campbell? What legendary football coach was let go from his NFL team? Longtime NFL team. Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, or Dan Campbell?
Well, since I've seen Bill Belichick in commercials around a pool, I'm going to go with Bill Belichick.
So we watched that much TV. Correct answer, is indeed Bill.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
All right.
Bill.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Brent. It was not Dan Cam. All right. Taking a sports turn here. Brandon, what is this duel now? What NBA career points milestone did LeBron James surpass? 30,000 points, 40,000 points, 50,000 points. What NBA career points milestone did LeBron James pass? 30,000 points, 40,000 points, or 50,000 points?
I'll say 40,000. Final answer.
Correct answer. Ewok, are you Googling these? You are on the money, sir. 40,000.
I remember seeing the ESPN infographic put up there and at Michael and all that. And I remember thinking, wow, that's high. I didn't expect it to be 40,000, but 50 sounded too much. And I knew 30 was not it. So,
All right. Well, it goes to Herb.
Uh-oh.
Herbs to stay in it. And
Pressure's on.
Ewok has self-verified that he is not Googling the answers. Here we go. What elite baseball club did Shohei Ohtani join this past season? The 40-40 club, the 50-50 club, or the 60-60 club? That's home runs and stolen bases. What elite baseball club did Shohei Ohtani join this past season? The 40-40, the 50-50, or the city-city?
Wow. Yeah, I have no idea. I really don't. I'm not a big follower of baseball, so this is just going to be one wild ass guess.
Those are allowed.
50-50. Final answer. Just because I'm 50-50 between 50-50 and 40-40.
50-50 is the correct answer.
Oh, look at that. All right.
Nice job, Hexa shirt. Yes, for the Dodgers. Good job, Jay. Still in it. All right, the game that will not end. Here we go. Let's see. You all want sports or some pop culture?
Sports, I guess, which
Eh,
means
whatever.
you'll probably go pop culture.
What would you go, Herbs?
Well, I'll do pop culture just to be contrarian.
All right,
See
I'll give you one of each.
It's good strategy.
Brendan, which NFL team? Brandon.
Mhm.
I know a Brendan. Brandon, which NFL team did not fire its coach? Did not fire its coach midseason? The New York Jets, the Chicago Bears, or the New York Giants? Which NFL team did not fire its coach midseason? The New York Jets, the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants. No, it's not the New York Gingers, Jay.
All right. So New York Jets wise, that's Aaron Rodgers. I watched the Netflix documentary. I don't think he got let go. And you said the other two were the Giants or the who?
These are the coaches.
Yeah, right. The coaches.
Yep.
The Giants, and then who else?
The New York Jets, Chicago Bears, New York Giants. Which team did not fire its coach midseason?
Dang, dude.
Chad is struggling with this one.
I'm gonna go with. Do I have anything in my brain about the Giants now?
Chad is really struggling.
I'm going to say the Bears. Let's say the Bears coach didn't get let go midseason.
Coffee, do you know it? Shake your head in the green room. Coffee knows it. It is not the Bears.
Okay.
It is not the Jeets. It is the answer that nobody got in chat except for, of course, Crypto Ewok with a guess, the New York Giants. So that goes over to Nuclear Herbs for the win, and you wanted something on the pop culture line?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever. I don't care.
Or sports, your call.
I wouldn't have gotten that sports answer anyway. So.
All right. Which song of the summer
Oh shit.
Tied Lil Nas X's record for most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 100. Which song of the summer tied Lil Nas X's record for most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 100? Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. I Had Some Help by Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. Or Bar Song by Shabuzi. Which song of the summer tied Lil Nas X record for most weeks at number 1 on Billboard 100? Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. I Had Some Help by Posty and Morgan Wallen. Or A Bar Song by Shabuzi.
Okay. First of all, who the hell is Lil Nas X? Who's Sabrina Carpenter?
He sang the Old Town Road, man, with Billy Ray.
And yeah, who the hell are these other people? Just because it's 5:00 your time, I'm gonna go with Bar Song. Because I have absolutely no idea what the hell is up. I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't think I've ever heard any of these songs.
The correct answer for the win is indeed Bar Song.
Oh my god.
So cheers to you with a bullet, my friend.
Thank you. What do I actually win?
You, sir, as with every winner of this competition, wins the chance to directly address the audience. So here's your turn. Nuclear Herbs, congratulations on the first trivia champion of 2025. Speak to Hexaco.
Hello, Hexaco. That's pretty much all I got. I didn't really prepare anything because I didn't know A, there was going to be a trivia contest, or B, that I had a chance of winning it. So just shout out to everybody who's in the audience. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. And I don't know. I'm a hockey guy, so I can't. I'm pretty bad at a lot of other sports. So good for them. There's no hockey question because I probably would have crushed it.
I'm a hockey guy as well, and there were some down on the list, but or one or two, but you would have easily gotten those, I believe. So, congrats, amigo.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Very nice win. Very nice win.
If I'd known that, I would have actually prepared something like a little bit more eloquent. Yeah.
It's all on the fly here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, we have a list of topics to get through, and I mean, we can go in clockwise order. BigK, I gotta ask you.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, but we have to do let's call it an autopsy.
Autopsy. Oh yeah, we do.
So we talked with
Steph. With Steph. We did.
Also with Brandon from Build the Tech.
Yeah.
And so we had him on stream and got the rundown. What happened in your view with the launch? Just could you summarize what happened? I know there's just been tons of stuff just flung his way. He's disappeared from social media, and yeah, man, it just turned out to not be.
Didn't really work out how I was expected to. That's for sure.
Yeah. 369 total viewers right now. Just shout out. Right, there we go.
So yeah, no, I was I casually endorsed that and was not endorsed it, but was like, yeah, this looks interesting. But the thing that I don't think that I was thought about very well through, and what I thought, obviously Richard was thought out super well, is how long a launch is going to last and how you're going to absorb as much of the cell pressure as you were. The adoption amplifier was built with precision to be able to handle. There was one slip up in it all. I think one day when there wasn't the balance in the AA. But there was no real. There should have been some way to absorb the support, or all the coins that were going to be minted. There was a lot of coins in that's going to be minted without any way of absorbing that supply. So in the end of it all, yeah, it was without any support like that, it's going to go. It's always going to be more economically incentivized to use the contract to get the coins, to sell the coins down, than it would ever be to actually buy them on the open market. So it's just a flaw in the economics that when he's like, I got five audits done, I imagined that some of that would be economics based, but I don't think that really was. So that's a super huge bummer. There's a few people that used my referral link out there, not many. I messaged those cats out there and we're like, hey, I'll toss you some hex for your pain. Thankfully it wasn't more than an ETH, so I didn't get myself too deep in that. But yeah, ooh, ouch, oops.
Thank you for the sound effects. Yeah, I mean that's about all one could say, I guess. Any other thoughts from the panel, Brandon or Coffee, before we shut the door on that? I just wanted to, do the
Terrible. All trust lost. Regrets.
Confirmed dead.
Wanted to be good. Terrible. Awful. Hope it never happens again. Reminded myself why Hex is awesome. Saved myself from myself again with that. And
yeah,
let's move on. I hope.
I will say that's one thing about it is that, like, the feeling I felt when I onboarded a lot of people to Pulse and PulseX, and the price went down, and we had to wait for 2 years. I never at all in any of that felt how I felt. Even losing an ETH of my friend, a couple buddies that using my link, like I felt like, wow, that was really that was a real bad feeling. So whatever I can say about that, lessons learned, for sure. Really silly.
If
not worth it.
We dug in when I had the back and forth with him a couple weeks ago. We dug in pretty hard, specifically about the slippage with the buy and burn. And if that slippage was not an unchangeable constant in the contract, you would actually be able to extract that ETH from the contract. But unfortunately, it's not. So I think that, I think that it maybe wasn't thought out long enough. And there's too much sell pressure on the contract, and it just kind of imploded in on itself. Not to say that the contract was exploited, because that's what 90% of the people think out there, but that's not the case.
Or it's the easiest go-to, just to
fling.
So yeah.
Yep.
All right, that is that. Autopsy completed. We mentioned it briefly during the trivia segment, but I guess we'd go around the room, and we did have the 5th annual Hex Conference put on this week. Shout out Matty Allen for, again, arranging people far and wide from the Hexaco community to come on. I was actually able to get on 2 nights this year, so that was cool. Had a fun panel, or 2 fun panels, and with each with some guys I'd never gotten to stream with before, so that was pretty cool, at least for some length there. But highlights, like, I guess, a lot of people like the Aubrey de Grey piece last night that was previously mentioned. Good debate between Axis and Dipcatcher, and a lot of haters throwing hate around all sorts of directions. So any takeaways from the conference? I guess, just go clockwise again. BigK.
I really enjoyed. I caught bits and pieces of the first couple days. I watched a bunch of the day I was on, and I watched the day before that a little bit too. But that last day, I really enjoyed the talks. I enjoyed the panel at the end too. Listened for a while with everybody's social. There's a lot to really like about the community, and for all of our. I was excited to be on a panel with a bunch of other people who have done in-person events too, which is nice. I mean, it's fun to talk to people about that kind of stuff that I'm into. So I was really reinvigorated again through the conference. So haters be damned. I mean, like everybody else wants to talk a bunch of shit. Like, you do it, go for sure. By all means, I'll support somebody else that is a hater that wants to build another conference too. I'll be glad to talk there or wherever and support it, but like Maddie's doing the hard work. He's bringing people together. you know, and like, oh, you don't like that? Oh my gosh, like, geez, you know, like I don't like everything that Maddie does. Like, I'm not okaying all that. I'm not okaying anybody, like all of what anybody is doing all the time. You know, that's not what I'm here to do. You know, but I am like trying to effectively reach out to people both in the community and outside in whatever way I can. You know, and so like having a self-insulating event that like really helps us all to have community moments together, like even in the midst of, you know, some tough news that's come out, you know, we all have, you know, like having the moments of like we're all still here, we're all still doing this and have the intentions of continuing is fantastic. And then for all the clips and informative pieces that are there as well, super awesome information. So like I was thrilled to be a part of it. And anybody who wasn't, I mean, I'm sorry that they feel that way. Bummer, but that's okay.
Thoughts, Rags, as Hex Force 1 says hello to all of us and you as well.
I'd say for the past 2 or 3 years, I've not participated in the Hex conference. I'm not sure that Maddie asks me, and I've got respect for Maddie. I don't do it because, you know, I've ventured pretty far outside of just Hex and PulseChain, and I don't want to steal clout from Hex, and I don't want that to be the image. I want to do this on my own. But I will say that I had people reach out to me and they asked, you know, should I be a part of this conference? And at the end of the day, Hex does what it does, right? And the conference is collecting people who want to talk about that. I think that there's different motives for different people everywhere. And just because you're in the conference doesn't mean you share the motive or the experience of the person that's sitting next to you. So I encourage these people to go and talk about Hex. Go out there and spread the word and use the platform and be a voice for good. And, you know, it's difficult to see everybody just cannibalizing themselves. But I think we do have a lot of work to do with regards to how we treat others and then how we treat ourselves internally. And then, you know, I would hope that people really start thinking for themselves rather than just going with the narratives of very few people who actually just hate themselves and they're projecting it on everybody that might be trying to do something good.
Very well said. I agree with pretty much all of that. Coffee, man. Thoughts on the conference year 5?
Yeah.
I think you've been at all of them, right?
Brandon said, but it's always good to get the tribe, the community together and have that sense of belonging and purpose that so many people lack. So drama aside, I think it's important to do these kinds of things, and regardless of who puts it on, like BigK said, if somebody else wants to put one on, I'd probably talk at that if invited, you know, or if there was a separate PulseChain conference like
Cabana Con 26.
I don't have enough time to care about who's mad at who or keep up with the Joneses of like this little beef over there. It doesn't matter at all. And yeah, I think people get angry and you don't have to watch, right? Like people hate watch this stuff. And sometimes the haters care more about you than even you care about yourself. It's like, damn guys, you can just turn the computer off. Like you don't have to like,
it's like the TV, right?
Yeah. So I think it's good to get people together. I think we should keep doing it, whether it's Maddie or anybody. So props to Maddie for setting this up. I thought that the topic of my panel was keeping Hex fun, which is really, really hard to do at a time like this. I don't know about you.
That's what we try to do here, at least. But yeah,
you know, going home for the holidays to the Interpol FUD.
Oh yeah, that was a blast.
Not the ideal, you know, because I care about Hex enough to want to show it to people I care about, you know, friends and family, and of course all the lovely randos on the internet. But I've met a lot of meaningful people, relationships through Hex, just on the internet. And of course there's ups and downs, right? But there's no goal worth doing if there's not some significant hurdles along the way. Like this should just be a like almost a sign. It's like, hey, you're kind of doing the right thing almost, because anybody that tries to do anything significant ever in the world just gets pushback. So I think it's good to see the courage and the optimism and the persistence from everybody. And after the conference was over, I had a sense of actually, like, I've been feeling like pretty kind of lighthearted the last couple of days. I don't know why, but I've just been kind of in a better mood because it's like it's all gone to shit. So why not just laugh? But as far as keeping Hex fun, it's like, yeah, it's not always, but we're gonna be fine. Like, in a weird way, I feel like I know that it's all gonna work out. So we're good.
Hex exists without Twitter, which is a crazy concept to a lot of
people. It keeps
people.
running with or without Twitter. Crazy.
Yes.
It's I almost wish I went into like a cryogenic pod for 2 years.
Yeah, time travel with cryogenics. Yeah, there you go.
Interstellar.
Should have done that with my onboards. Put them away for
In the pod.
Well, Mr. Herbs, was last night your first time speaking at the conference?
It was, yeah.
What did you think?
I missed out on it last year because of health reasons or whatever. So I think I was in the hospital, like trying not to die. And
we're glad you didn't.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. You know, I will just say, like, you know, to add to what everybody was saying, is imagine the Hex community being a lot like everybody that gets invited to a wedding, and Maddie's the wedding planner, and he's got to figure out where to seat everybody and who can't sit next to who and who can't talk with who. Like, I mean, who the hell would want that job? Like, and he keeps doing it every year. So I got to give him a lot of credit. You know, he puts in a lot of work on it, and you just do the best you can with what you got. And I thought he did another good job this year. So really happy to be there. I was happy to speak at this one. You know, I personally have had a number of interactions with Maddie, both in real life and online. He's always been good to me. So, you know, I'm glad he invited me. That's all.
How many people in the chat or who are going to be listening to this that didn't like the conference? How many of you unfollowed Richard after he shilled the online conference? I bet none of you did, and I bet you just hated on Maddie harder. That's probably what happened. I'm not sure if that's very logical, and if you fall in that camp, maybe you should self-audit. That's what I would say.
Mushrooms. No, just kidding.
So
security audit, but not economics.
I was gonna tell BigK, like, after when he was talking earlier, I turned around and my wife had a bottle of Decoy Pinot Noir on the coast, so I just opened that while I was waiting to talk. So finally joined you guys at the happy hour. So
all right, well, we'll see what kind of answers we can get out of you when the legal stuff comes up here in about 5-10 minutes. But before we get there,
make it 20, and it might be more interesting.
Oh yeah, I might delay it just to see what crazy stuff you'll say. I did want to bring this up, especially it's really cool that Coffee came by, and you know, thanks, man, for giving me a shout and coming on. The marketing materials thing, like the postcard campaign that has been thrown out there, and of course Richard kind of tweeted, I guess, a few days ago his ideas on it. I guess a variation of like direct mail has been done in years past, but also Cy Hex OG, founder of like Hex Toys, Tesseract, or whatever. I retweeted him, I guess, a few days ago, and he shared my view, except he just like put it into words and tweeted it, and was just like, you know, I think, you know, it's a great idea, but the time for it is probably better after the SEC Interpol finish stuff is all said and done. And I agree with that personally, just because I said this at the conference. If somebody gets a piece of mail like that, and the first thing they're going to do, if they don't already go to where they're being told to on the postcard or whatever, they'll Google themselves, or they'll probably do it after they check out whatever they're supposed to check out. And then the first thing they're going to come up is just a bunch of who knows what headlines about watches and federal agencies and lawsuits or whatever. So I'm in agreement that, you know, we should wait on it. But your thoughts on it, because I know, you know, you have a marketing mind, and, you know, just in terms of like web marketing and You're always looking to optimize strategies, whether it be like for hex on the web or whatever. So I just wanted to turn to you first on this one. What are your thoughts on the postcard campaign?
Who's that to?
That's me.
Yes.
I love it. I think that when you break people out of the typical mediums that they're used to, it actually leaves a lasting effect. So people can talk shit about mail all day long, but those same people will talk shit about anything that's in front of them because they're miserable. Like, it's actually a pretty cost-effective way to get around censors, and paid ads on YouTube and Google and Meta, from my experience, really don't work unless you have a really good script, a really good team, and like a really tight value prop benefit, pain benefit statement. Like you got to be kind of a professional. I don't think we shouldn't try all that kind of stuff. Digital paid ads, mail ads I think are great, but there's the ubiquity illusion is an idea that somebody can be kind of deceived into the illusion that an idea is ubiquitous if they hear it from multiple sources and multiple media, and it's only like 2 different sources and 3 different media. 3 impressions from 2 different media leaves what's called a ubiquity illusion. It's a very surprisingly little amount of impressions. It's just the variation of where they see them. Billboard, subway ad, and then of course maybe like a Twitter or YouTube video or some, X account. I also really love what the Decentralize Me guy wants to do.
That's I guess related. He wants to form like a marketing budget. Is that right?
Yeah, and that marketing budget got $100K worth of funds already. Which back in the day, I don't know if anyone remembers. I tried to run a little tiny one in like month 1 of Hex because things were pretty bad back then too. What with negative press, and I didn't want to see that, so I tried to look at options. But I think at the time, the donations we had at that time, because we were so small, like 5K or 6K or something. So now we've got 100K, and it's like we can hire a reputation management company for Richard for a full year at least, and we can hire a PR agency. I don't think we need to hire influencers. I think we've got the organic game totally down. I think like better than anyone I know. I don't even think paying off influencers is really good, because when the influencers hate, I think that's part of the marketing appeal too. Because they're just influencers, right? It's like at the end of the day, they're just like kind of like nobodies that just the hate drives the engagement and the clicks, I think, so postcards are great, but I'd like to see what happens if we can do like some kind of a reputation cleanup company tied with a PR company. Because I just want to get Richard's a scammer articles off of the page 1 of Google, so that when I tell my cousin to buy PulseChain, he's not like, yo, dude, I did my research. What is this scam?
Preach. Yep. And that's pretty much
talk to the decentralized guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's a pretty smart dude, and I think we can work something out.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this, and you can find him on Twitter. He's got the Ethereum link there for donations and whatnot. But yeah, he was somebody was asking if it was a Godwell address, and I think Martin looked it up, and it was not, but it was like a Hex OG who bought Hex, I think, right around the time of when we started to take off that April near the Godwell candle. So that was pretty cool, and you kind of echo my thinking in that. I think certain things need to fall in order, the right order before. So if we had the reputation management before the marketing materials go out, then I would be all about that. The cleanup before the fact. Otherwise, people, like you said, are just going to go out and see the scam and the headlines and the legal headlines and watches and all sorts of nonsense. And that cluttered really doesn't need to be there if you're trying to onboard people. Other thoughts around the room on the postcard and or marketing outreach and or the timing of it?
I think it's great. Everybody's going to try to do their own unique things, and it's awesome to see stuff happening and all these people taking initiative. And I really think there's some near-term positive stuff to look forward to, not only with an SEC loss versus Richard, but a lot of the community driven marketing plans behind the scenes, I think it's something to get excited about.
Yeah, marketing Hex is interesting because you can see something negative about Hex and it will plant a seed in your head and you'll ask questions. You can get good press about Hex and the same thing will happen. The reason that I got into Hex was because I had started a YouTube channel way back and I saw a lot of bad stuff about Hex. So I wanted to learn more about it. And when I learned more, I started making videos on YouTube, and YouTube connected the Hex community to me. I had no idea you guys even existed until YouTube did what it does. So I don't see that there's much of a net negative regardless of the situation that we're in right now, because what happens when those same people see something negative about Hex after the Google search, and then 2 years later, it pops back up that Hex is ripping, and then they look back into it and they're cleared by the SEC and all these things happen. Like, there's so many different variations of what I just said. This is a net positive in my estimation.
Herbs and or BigK, final thoughts on that one?
I like marketing stuff. I like seeing Hex stuff places. I thought that I mean,
would you like to see it now or after headlines and reputation cleanup occurs?
Sure. Yeah, you're right. Let's do I like the idea. Let's get a professional cleanup crew on this shit. Clean up.
It wouldn't even have to be that hard, right? It's like just a couple of articles that spur up every couple of months from like 5 to 10 news sources that they just get locked into the SEO, and it's just more of an annoyance, if anything. But at the end of the day, it's like it's all kind of part of the, I don't want to say like the grand plan, but like this is just the way things are going to happen. And I can almost see the end goal, whether it's 1 year or 5 years away. It's like there's no way this doesn't actually help us in the long run, even though it feels like shit right now.
Yeah. And I guess to join that point, like the job gets immediately easier if we get some good headlines, out of the court, hearing, dismissal hearing. And
do you really think already good headline? Do you think they have the?
No. I'm talking whoever is hired. That's your material to start to push this other stuff down. And that would be immediate material to be like, it's newsworthy, so it would go straight to the news stuff. It would be perfect for SEO, and that would just be the perfect start to something like that. And once you have something positive, hopefully, I'm not saying it's going to happen. We're going to ask Herbs right here in a minute what his current thoughts are, but that would be the kickstart. I think the perfect kickstart to start up this campaign that Decentralize Me is putting together. So with that said, Herbs, we have a couple legal matters to ask you about. I guess just the current state of them, because obviously there's no new filings or whatnot.
Disappointing, but
yeah. So I guess the thing I wanted to ask you about regarding the SEC dismissal hearing is, since I guess decisions come with it or around 60 plus days, or obviously over that 60-day threshold. What is your experience with the timing of it? If there's like something immediate, it's either one way or the other. And this is just me guessing. It would be easy for the judge, the court, to write something up and be like, no, this is ridiculous, tossed out, or yes, we are proceeding with this. In this case, there's a lot to consider. So is it fair to assume that there could be a lot being put into like yay and nays regarding different facets of the dismissal?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it there. I think that there's a lot of analysis going on. I think, and I mentioned it a little bit at the Hex conference yesterday, but like if this was going to be a straight up, I'm denying your motion entirely, Richard. That takes, all of 5 to 10 pages to write, and it's basically appeal proof, because that would be an interlocutory appeal. They're very hard to get, and if it was denied based on facts the judge found, they're not going to go after her. It's not going to be overturned. So the chances of winning an appeal on that issue are pretty low that it gets accepted, and then even lower that it gets, you get through. So if I wanted to dismiss it, I probably would have put it out already. I don't know what her, again, I don't know what her workload it looks like. I don't know, if she's had a whole bunch of trials in the meantime that take up a lot of time, or what else she's been doing, or injunctions that need to be issued right away that take priority over pretty much anything else. I don't know if she's the one signing, criminal warrants. I don't know what her other duties are in that job, but there's always got to be somebody that's doing that type of stuff, and it all takes time. But again, I mean, 5 to 10 pages, I could have put that out anytime I wanted to, and we would have just continued to move on with this case. What that would look like is you dismiss it, you order Richard to file an answer to the SEC's complaint, which still hasn't been done, and then you move on and you move into discovery. If I had a gut feeling, I would say that this is probably not going to be a complete dismissal complete denial of Richard's motion. It has that weird feeling to me that it's going to be either, a partial or the way better option for us is it's a full, and that would have to be, a full granting, which means dismissing the case. And that would have to be written up in much the same way that a partial would be, where you go through every single element and analyze it, every single element of every claim with respect to each person named as a defendant, and you go through each one and you write out why, what your rationale is for it.
Okay, so it's not what I was saying then. Like I was thinking, like if it was just all or nothing, then it would be rather quick if it was a full. But you're saying that the reasoning still has to be gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only one that I think would be easy to write would be a completely denying his motion. The other two options, partial or full granting, are much harder to write, because those are the ones that the SEC could appeal, and they would have to hold up on appeal. So that takes some considerable amount of time, given the amount of stuff that's involved.
I've got a question.
Gotcha.
I'm sure you've gone over this a million times, but give me an example of maybe what a partial would look like.
Here's an example that I think is not out of the realm of possibility. The judge finds that she has personal jurisdiction over Richard, but the claims against Hex are barred because they do not fit the time frame that where the SEC is claiming that certain statements were made that affected the offering, what they call the offering period. So investors would have had to hear statements during the offering period in order to make decisions based on those statements. And the SEC has alleged no such statements occurred. The earliest statements they talked about is stuff that's in 2022 at the Hex conference, and that was well after the adoption amplifier ended. Mm-hmm. So I could see a situation where if the judge wanted to find jurisdiction over Richard, which is still really up in the air, that's a tough sell for me. But if she found personal jurisdiction over him, she could make him appear. But I'm not sure that the claims against Hex would be allowed to move forward. I think all the alter ego claims are gone against the defendants. Those are because it was pretty clear and pretty easy that the judge is like, you can't sue software. We're there. She was there in her head. Like, what are we doing here? She asked if the SEC had abandoned those claims, and they very, very grudgingly took their time before they finally admitted that they were kind of abandoning those claims, and then reneged on that later on in the hearing. But I think those are gone as well. So if she's going to make him appear, it's going to be to answer, at least, I could see this as a reasonable possibility. I'm not going to, don't put any stock in this, but I'm just saying, like, don't buy anything based on this. Don't sell anything based on it. What I'm saying is I can see a reasonable basis for her to continue the claims against Richard with respect to the sacrifice set and the issuance of PulseChain.
Okay.
I'm not sure about anything else.
One more question, if that's all right, Cabana.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
All right, cool. So, all right, let's just say, for example, that things don't work out for Richard with this decision, and then we have the new SEC person coming on board. Do you have any insight as to maybe how the SEC would take that with new leadership? Like this is dropped into their lap. Are they obligated in any way to pursue that, or can they drop it, or what are your thoughts on that?
They're not obligated to pursue it. And in there, they put out a memo. I don't know if I think I reposted it a while back. It was like 2 weeks ago or so. They put out a memo what they, after an internal meeting at the SEC, what their day one priorities were going to be. And it did include reviewing all of these open type cases.
Okay.
So I would expect that anything, this is where I think Charles Hoskinson got it wrong, because it's not like, oh, he's, it's different in Richard's case because there's fraud allegations. There's fraud allegations in connection with issuing a security.
Right.
So if your only basis for alleging that there's a security that's been issued is Howie, and that is the whole base, that's the underpinnings of regulation by enforcement. We're enforcing this because we think you violated Howie. So if you change that mindset where regulation by enforcement due to we think you violated Howie goes away, then it doesn't really matter if they think that there was fraud in connection with the issuance of those securities, because you're not looking at the problem in the same way. You turned the Rubik's Cube to another color, and now you're looking at a different color, and it doesn't look the same way as it did before. So you just simply can't continue to analyze that one aspect of the claims brought against Richard in the same way.
Is there a maximum amount of days that she has to push this ruling out?
They're not. I mean, this is just 60 to 90 is kind of typical. That's what I've seen in the past. I don't know. I've never done any work in the Eastern District of New York. And I know they have a heavier workload than the District of Arizona, where I've done some work. So I don't know what their typical time frame is, but it's really common to see stuff at the 60 to 90 day mark. And I think they try to do that because, at day 91, other stuff starts backing up, right?
Right.
And day 120, other stuff starts backing up. And then eventually you just have a backlog you can't clear.
Yep.
So
cool.
We've got a pretty good question from Brenton. Shout out Brenton. Would the Interpol FUD have any influence on this judge potentially?
It's going to have absolutely no interest. She's going to have absolutely no interest in this whatsoever. She's deciding issues that are brought to her. She doesn't give a shit what anybody else thinks. It's what was argued right in front of her. She doesn't even care whether or not these things are securities. That's not the issue in front of her. Judges, I think this is where a lot of people get confused, is there's a case pending and it says all these things. But if you only bring one particular issue to a judge, she's going to decide one particular issue. She's not going to go outside and decide everything else around it, even though she knows damn well that she's going to have to decide these things later on. But the briefing is tied to one issue, so that's all she reviews and that's all she decides.
Thank you.
Hope that helps.
Yes.
All right. Thoughts on this? Herbs from Rizology. I have a gut feeling the judge is waiting for Gensler to step down before announcing her decision.
I mean, a lot of people have said that. I really don't have that same feeling. I think she's just trying to get stuff done in her own time. I don't think she gives a crap who's running the SEC. I really don't. She's been a judge since 1991 or whatever. It's not like, somebody was talking about like whether or not it would impact her career aspirations. I'm like, she's 78. Like, she didn't have career aspirations. She's a federal judge. She can't be booted out. There's nothing like, short of an impeachment proceeding, which is never going to happen. She's got a good reputation, as far as I can tell, of doing her job. I just say let the process play out. Let it, she's gonna rule when she's gonna rule. And even if Gary Gensler steps down, and she doesn't come out with a ruling until after that, I'm not sure it's going to affect the ruling anyway. Like the issues are still the same issues that she's deciding, regardless of who's running the SEC.
We hope to know where the blockchain does
My
indeed
God,
live
yeah.
one day,
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
or at least hear what her opinion of that is. So I think Brenton and Coffee brought it up earlier. That's the second part of kind of why I wanted to get you on and ask you, some things about all things legal. The Finland stuff, the Interpols, the FUD, as it's been referenced.
Yeah.
You had a very interesting and lengthy post on X about how you kind of dug into it. You're trying to find at least some sort of like legal documents that actually exist that reference this. Could you, I guess, expand on like what you're looking for, what you haven't found, maybe how the Finnish the way they do things over there could be different from ours, and maybe that has something to do with it. Like, what's your overall take or summary of what you were kind of posting there in verbal form?
Sure. Yeah. And I can break a little bit of news on this too here. So
Hey,
there you go.
let's go.
I've been going back and forth with the court clerk in Helsinki where these things are supposedly filed. These charges, these allegations are supposedly filed. And what I've been trying to get out of them for weeks was, hey, just give me a overall whatever's public document, like whatever, like, if there's a complaint against somebody, a criminal complaint against somebody in a courthouse here, I can walk in, grab it, read the facts of what happened. Guy held up an ATM in front of this store at this time, and whatever. Okay, fine. That's all public information. I can get that anywhere I want. Apparently that thing is different in Finland, where they go out of their way to protect the names of everybody involved and whatever the hell is going on. So I've been emailing back and forth and saying there's a little language barrier here, but it's like, I don't want the personal information. I don't care who is involved. What I want is, we are seeking, the tax case is about, the $1 billion that was supposedly received by him or whatever. So I would know what the facts are regarding that, whether or not, because it would make a difference if it had anything to do with the SAC versus what, it was capital gains on his Bitcoin holdings or his capital gains on Ethereum holding. It would make a big difference to, I think, everybody to know what the hell they're trying to claim money for. So that's where I'm trying to get those facts. The assault, I mean, I'm sorry, it's just stupid. Like, I mean, it's a simple assault. It's nobody, like we don't even arrest people for that in the United States anymore. So I find that really silly. But I will say that this morning I did get an email back from the court clerk in Helsinki. She did not provide a ton of information. It was basically just hey, talk to this detective, the same guy who told me to, that there's no public documents. But she did provide what looks to be like case numbers for the actions that we're talking about. There were three things that she had, and one was the Finland thinks he owes us a shitload of money case. And I assume that what I'm seeing is a case number. I can't confirm that. I don't know if it's I don't know how they docket things over there. I don't know how they file things over there or whatever, but there are three distinct numbers in there. So I'm going to assume that there's some sort of case number associated, where some way that the clerks can look it up if he hires counsel over there, they can look it up by those numbers. The second thing was, yes, they're looking for an assault, and they have him, I think this was also actually accurately reported. He's arrested in absentia, which means that we totally arrested him, but we don't have him. So, like, good job. Like, I don't know what that does for you, but and it's probably why Richard put out the "I'm safe, I'm bulletproof, I'm fine, leave me alone, don't worry about me." And then the third thing was, there was some order issued by the court to confiscate assets, but it does say very specifically that it was as a security deposit. So it's not with respect to a judgment, at least the way I would understand it, but it's they had the ability to go collect up to, I think, $13 million worth of assets as a security deposit, which I assume would be returned to him if and when he wins this thing eventually. So I believe that's what they're talking about when they went after his watches and things like that. So
Is that strikingly similar to the amount that the SEC wants from him? There's no connection there, I'm sure, but
yeah, right. I mean, the SEC is looking for 12 and a half. There's a $13 million security deposit.
right. I was like, wait.
Yeah, that's wild, huh? Like, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I don't know if it's 13 million actual US dollars or whatever the hell.
They work together, right? These agencies, certain
They
agencies
do.
in Europe. Yeah. And
They do. A lot
the
of them
SEC,
do.
FBI, et cetera.
Yeah. So that's the news that I have, is that that's as far as I can get. I still don't have the facts of anything. Like, you know, I don't know who was assaulted. I don't know why they were assaulted. I mean, they could have been, you know, trying to assault
They deserved
Richard.
it. They deserved
Yeah,
it.
I mean, they might have, right? I mean, they might, you know, and there might just be some stupid law in Finland that says, like, it doesn't matter, you know, if the 16-year-old is trying to stab you, if you punch them, then you're going to jail. I don't know. You know, we've seen stupider laws around the world. So
It is the EU, after all.
That would be very California of them.
Yes.
It would be, yeah. So that's as far as I've gotten, and you know, I'm going to keep digging, but that's really all I have at this point. And it
Good work, man. Good
took
work.
me like 3 weeks to get here. So
Yeah.
Good job.
No, I think we speak on the behalf of the community and say thank you, man. So
Yeah.
just we appreciate you. Couple questions, I guess, in the chat I highlighted. I guess the red notice, is that at least credible?
I believe so, based on the fact that case numbers with a description of the same things that Finland's looking for. So, you know, I don't know how credible red notices are anyway. I don't know. I would assume that at this point, Richard has somebody like working on that, because, you know, red notices are not issued for these things. I mean, the only person I've ever seen Richard murder is like some of his opponents on stream, right? So, I mean, I've never, murder, rape, robbery, those high level things are the things that red notices are typically used for, not punching somebody in the nose. You know, or my God, it would be like the worst. Like, I mean, that thing would be full, right? I mean, it would be an Excel spreadsheet with 28 million people on it. It would be insane. So I don't, yeah, but it does appear that the things that they've listed in the red notice do correspond with things that Finland has open. So if that's the question, that's the answer.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I was taking a look at some of the characters on, that red notice list, and, assaults don't even compare to some of the stuff, or most of the stuff that those guys are wanted for. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like Richard is on a list with these people. Like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, there were Mexican cartel leaders that aren't on that goddamn list. Like,
right.
What the hell is Richard doing on it?
It's collaboration, man. It just feels like collaboration.
It really does. It does.
They just want to get him in a jail cell, figure out where he's at.
Yeah. Which is why it was very nice to hear him say that he's perfectly safe. Yeah. He's fine. So, and do we have any reason not to believe him? No. So let's just believe him.
Is there any proof that he actually lives in Finland? I remember back in the day they posted a screenshot of an address that was the same address that he threw the Helsinki Hex meetup at. Right. So it's did he live? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the answer to that question is they think he's left the country months ago.
Yeah, but I think that there is proof that I'm not like I haven't done the digging, but from what I had heard that Finland publishes tax records, and that Richard has been paying taxes there for a number of did pay some taxes there. Like he was a pack, that's so I'm pretty sure that's what's strange is, as far as I knew, he was a tax paying citizen, or U.S. citizen, but living there and paying whatever owed, and that is somewhat public knowledge, I mean, but
which is really wild that they protect every single detail about a criminal case, but they're
But they-
here's your tax records, everything you've ever paid us. Like, what the hell? That
Yeah,
seems like
it's
a very strange way of doing business in that country. But I'm
Does
sure
anybody know about, I guess, tax law or various asset protection trusts that are available in like Switzerland or Finland? Is there like a theoretical way for a crypto person to like tie up an address in a certain trust in Switzerland and somehow that's more safe?
I'm sure
Well,
there
yeah.
is. Yeah, I'm absolutely.
I mean,
there is.
that's all the kind of stuff that I imagine that, like, if we got to discovery on, in any of this stuff, that you'd figure out, he'd have to provide more information on, but the moment it's like, just fuck off.
He outlines a lot
right.
of that stuff in Sci-Vive. So,
Yeah, I just feel like that
Mhm.
this guy's probably taken every single backup step possible that I don't, backup steps that we don't even know exist. So
Right. I mean, like you don't put this much effort into learning securities law, learning learning all kinds of stuff, like all kinds of legal stuff, debating lawyers on the stream, and then screw up the basics. You just don't. That's not Richard. Come on, man. We all know
Yeah.
this. So he doesn't like to share a whole lot of information, as we found out. Like he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and we're gonna find out when we find out. But,
yeah, I mean, that goes. I mean, I was reminded of that at the Hex conference yesterday when Maddie said that, like, there was. I mean, from the moment that we got the SEC news to us finding out that he hired Quinn Emanuel, that was a 5-month period of time that we all sat like,
yep.
is he going to say anything? Is something going to happen? And it's like, hopefully he responds to this.
Yeah. Everybody is like, he's on the run.
Yeah. So like, I would imagine that Richard has been doing some due diligence in the background on this as well. Similar to what you've been doing, and then some. So,
yeah, I 100% believe that. So.
And as we close this, just want to bring this one up from OG Super Hex. What's up, man? For Herbs, if the case continues on, will there ever be a time when Richard would have to actually appear physically in court?
Generally, no. There is a situation possibly where they might force him to appear for a deposition. There's, whether or not that can actually be done is I'm sure that whatever the rules are in the Eastern District of New York will cover that, and that would be litigated heavily. But I don't really think that there's nothing in this case that would force him to appear. It's not going to trial. This thing is going to be either decided on this motion to dismiss, or it's going to be decided on summary judgment. So there's not really any reason for him to show up in the first place. So the only thing I could think of would be a deposition, and that would be, we're gonna see arguments over that, whether or not they can do it via. I mean, most depositions are done via Zoom anyway, so I don't see any reason for him to actually appear. The last 10 depositions I did in my career were Zoom.
And there we go. I'll tie a bow on that. A couple more topics. Thank you, Herbs, for your knowledge of the situation, as always, man.
Yeah, you got it. I'm mostly guessing at a lot of their shit, but I mean, it's not.
Your perspective is far more valuable,
far more
than
educated guesses than any of us are.
Yes, and the internets. So yeah, greatly appreciated, man.
Hey, speak for yourself, BigK.
my opinion is really important. Have you seen my followers?
That's right. Spoken like PTC, Maxie.
I love the work you're doing, Coffee.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it.
All right, so got a couple topics left here. The next one, I guess I'll go to you, Brandon from buildthetech.com, because you had a diplomatic post about this character, Charles Car Salesman.
Yeah.
So I guess he just as of today or last night, like, just put out a post. I just think it's hilarious that he's like rage tweeting that he's going to just block anyone who mentions Hex or PulseChain.
Sure.
And of course, you got, I mean, just
No,
Hodl
no,
Dog.
you can't even have it in your profile.
You can't have it in your profile. But Hodl Dog and Trayvon and others, took it a step further and just commented Hex and PulseChain because they have no interest in, not
the comment thread underneath that tweet
Yes.
is the most entertaining read you'll have all day.
Yes,
Absolutely, yeah.
It is fantastic. So yeah, we're talking about Charles Hoskinson. I say car salesman, but anyway, that goes over to Brandon because you had a well thought out diplomatic tweet on the matter. I guess from Hexaco's perspective, we're like, come on, crypto. Richard is kind of like actually taking the bullets for a lot of y'all. You don't even know what you're cheering for or don't understand it. You just hate the man.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you have Charles out there who, just kind of like dismisses him, kind of mocks him or mocked him back when they were actually, both actively online. Are you okay, Richard? How do you feel? What are your feelings? Are you okay inside? Crap like that. But, it's kind of gotten to the point where I said, he's like blocking any and all Pulsicans, Hexicans. So you had a good tweet or post about engagement and how community can act, how the choices of said community, like responses that could happen. You want to expand on those views here?
Yeah. I guess here's the TLDR. I think that it's time for us to kind of grow up a little bit more in terms of how we interact publicly. It really hit home to me when you listen to Richard's stream and towards the back half of that, he makes the point. He's like, hey, listen, guys, being a clown and acting like a clown attracts clowns, but that's only going to get you so far because there's a whole other group of people out there who are professional and who want to see somebody communicating a message in a professional manner. And I think that it's important, I said something, I don't typically weigh in on things, but I said something because I think it's important to start making that transition. I don't think we react too well to criticism online. I know why. Okay, don't get me wrong. I understand the whole history of Hex and how attacked that we've been, but I don't think we're doing ourselves any favors by acting the way that we do. I get it, people come at Hex or they come at PulseChain with negativity or outright lies, and it hurts inside and it's frustrating. But when we react with insults, aggression, nonstop arguing forever, that's just really playing into those people's hands, and all the insults and accusations that they're levying towards us are confirmed by our reaction. I think it makes us look bad. And I think it distracts us from what really matters, which is we need to focus our energies on growing the community. So think about this, like every time that I clap back at a troll or a critic and I'm angry with that response, what's the outcome? Do these people suddenly say, oh, wow, you're right, Hex is amazing, or, PulseChain is amazing? No, it just makes them dig in deeper. We're not going to convince those people. And I think worse, it scares off the other people, which is the most important point that I want to make. We're not actually responding to the person that's lying. We are teaching the people who are watching from afar, all those followers. So how are we going to hold ourselves to that standard and really try to transition from, old Hex days, quite frankly, old Richard days, it seems, into something that's more professional. We don't have to agree with the criticism. We can respond, but I think we can handle it better. I think if we respond calmly, if we respond with respect, I actually think that shows a lot of strength. And I don't think we should ignore the nonsense altogether. But we should respond tactfully, truthfully, correct the mistruths, and let the chips fall where they may. At the end of the day, Hex speaks for itself, in my opinion. So that was my message. It was not a message of, hey, let's kiss Charles Hoskinson's ass. It's let's correct the record in a proper way and realize that we're teaching the people, his followers who are watching this too, and Cointelegraph and CoinDesk and all these people who are making these micro judgments about who we are and who we aren't.
I agree. You can win an argument with facts, and it's easy when the truth is on your side. So you can do some playful, tasteful trolling, especially when the person has many more followers than you, and you know that it's not about them changing their mind, but like you said, about all the people watching the rebuttals. But you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot with some random hate comment at the very end, like, "Oh, by the way, fuck you, retard." Like that just doesn't,
And
that reverses. Like if you lose your cool, you become basically the bitch of the argument. So
correct.
I think I got to agree with basically everything Brandon just said. Like, and I'll tell you where I think some of this started, and I think I'm partially responsible for throwing this grenade. I had no idea I was doing it. I didn't really mean to. Somebody sent me in a DM that little clip of Charles talking about how Hex wasn't going to be on Hex and PulseChain. The SEC complaint wasn't going to be unwound because of the criminal charges or something like that. So I put up a tweet and I basically said, this is not, it's, first of all, the SEC stuff's not criminal. I know that Corey Costa, who I absolutely love, and I apologize for dragging him into this. All I said was, I know he's been trying to get you on a show because I know he'd like to talk about Cardano, and I know he's interviewed Charles Hoskinson before. So I would have been happy to call in or whatever, just kind of like if he had any questions about what he was talking about. Obviously, the SEC case against Richard was. I'd be happy to straighten him out or just give him some facts. So I thought I did that in a very, kind, professional type manner. And then it turned out to be like, a kid dropping ice cream on the ground and ants swarming on it. And that's where we went. And then Charles, I'm not sure why he did it, but he put out, like a 1-sentence tweet, like, this Interpol shit is criminal or whatever. And I'm like, man, and I was like, listen, I'm the one trying to do the research on this. I'm the one calling these people. I'm trying to get the actual facts. Maybe, you got to be smarter than that, like to just believe everything that comes up on the internet, because believe it or not, what I found when I've emailed journalists who wrote some of these articles they rely on another article and then that was written by somebody else who relied on another article that was written by somebody else, and it's just a long daisy chain, and every single thing leads back to this one detective, Harry Sarastola, in Finland, and he seems to be the sole source of any news that's been getting out. So this is the reason why it's really bothering me that I can't get to the actual facts of the case, because the only person that has any knowledge of anything that's actually going on and is spreading it with reporters is this one detective who's basically told me straight out there are no public documents. So how the fuck am I supposed to verify anything? How is any journalist verifying anything?
It's the detective of Finland.
It's apparently so. Somebody.
It's like a position.
Somebody says,
Barkley boys.
The detective.
Hilarious about, like, they found a article about where he was essentially the bear detective, like the bear meat detective, like if somebody was illegally like chopping up bears and selling them on the
we got good bear today,
and then he got then he was doing that for a while, and then he moved into the tax division, which I commented, I'm like, I'm not even sure that's a promotion, but I don't want to do taxes, I don't want to talk about that, I'd rather talk about bears. At least you're outside doing fun stuff. But so anyway, that's all I got. So
it's great.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing too?
Yeah,
that's why we're here, brother.
Yeah,
go for it.
It's really been weighing heavy. Now, I want to say this too, guys. Everything that I've just said about how we should act, I'm completely guilty of not acting that way. I drank that hate Kool-Aid back in the day. I've been doing my best to try to change that. and I've had really good results with it. That's why I'm sharing it. So I'm not perfect. Okay. But also hold these people accountable who you look up to in your community, man. Like there's people that have really big followerships that, you know, all they do is do hate engagement to gain followers. And it's just, it's so cringe and it's so frustrating for me to see. I would urge and implore people to hold them accountable, let them know how you feel about that, and just be outspoken about the direction that you want to see this go. And if it's not going the direction that you want it to go, then form your own community and take it in that direction. All right. So.
Yep, I 100%. Like I wrote an article about like unifying for the purpose, like unifying communities for the purpose of, you know, basically just, we can argue about our own communities later. Let's just get past the SEC. You know, and I think they put that almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
You know, I still believe that like we're better and stronger together than we are just fighting, you know, amongst each other for the time being. You know, we'll get to that point, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
you can knock your competition down with brute force, or you can grow so big that they're in your shadow and nobody hears them. And I like that way. I think that's more synergistic.
I think that's a great view to have.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need Jesus.
I agree.
The detective of Finland needs Jesus. Baghdad Bob of Finland.
Still waiting on that call, baby.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he's just busy doing other shit because he hasn't appointed anybody there yet. And then, you know, I'd be cool with like late spring, early summer, because then I don't have to like move a bunch of shit in the middle of winter and get it all snowed on. I'd be cool with that.
You know how many people have applied?
I don't know. As far as I can tell, it's just me. And I would like to actually just personally thank everybody who signed the petition that I have as my pin tweet. I got so many really awesome comments from people on that. Man, I just can't thank this community enough. Like, wow. Like it's very humbling to see like that kind of support out of everybody. So I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. This is the good side of the community. So yeah, props to everybody in the chat and, you know, who's still here and all over the streams. I mean, we're streaming to a bunch of different channels on different platforms, Rags' channels.
There's a bunch of awesome people. And I sometimes feel like the whole community as an organism is kind of just as one unit. You can't get rid of the dark side of anything, no matter how much you wish, you know, you can want people to level up, but there's always going to be someone that's just going through it and just wants to talk shit on the internet. So it's out of our control to some degree, but I definitely appreciate the messaging of positivity and, you know, bring yourself to a higher level to, you know, expect more out of yourself and show yourself some more love.
That's right. I'm all about it.
Hexa shirt. Thanks for your diligence, Herbs, and everyone here. That includes all y'all in the chat too, who keep
yes, chat
coming back. I mean, familiar faces for like years and 5 years now. You know, I recognize names.
You're welcome. Anything I can contribute, I'm going to try and do. So, I actually love this community. I really do. Yeah.
When did you realize that, Herbs? When did you realize that you loved us?
When? I can't give you a specific date, but
that's what we all say, right?
It was after this. It was after the filing of the SEC complaint. Somewhere between there and you know, when I started like, you know, doing PulseChain law school, like in late 23, and just the reception I got from everybody was more than anything I could have ever hoped for.
The tumult of the relationship.
Yeah.
That drew you closer. So,
yeah, and then I got to start meeting people, which is freaking awesome because I love meeting people in real life and hanging out with them.
I always say that's like one of the best byproducts of this community that I never even thought about. Like when we got into this thing, like I just thought it was cool. Like one of my first streams ever was with coffee, and it was like during COVID or whatever. And I'd be like, oh man, he's a cool dude. Be cool to like meet people like him one day. And then, you know, we have like conferences and or music video shoots that mark the top, or BigK throwing out the first pitch at major league games and stuff, and you
That's
get
cool.
what's that?
That was cool.
That was cool. Like you get to meet these people in real life, and they are cool. Like they're most of them, kidding, but it's just a cool time. Done hockey games, baseball games, sporting it's so cool. And then like doing like educational stuff, going around with the PulseChain tour and stuff like that. So it's a great opportunity, and it's just like I said, just a byproduct of awesome proportions that I was not even expecting when I got into this thing. So that said, we've got all our feels out there, Herbs and I. Richard kind of echoed some tweets that have been out there about activity on PulseChain. Is PulseChain dead, Big K and Brandon? Because it doesn't look like it, because it's top 5 and a lot of the nice data out there. What do we have? Ethereum's obviously way up there. We got Base. Sui is like hot right now. BSC's been up there a long time, but poking its head in there for
Can I just say a quick thing about volume? Like,
yeah,
it's a hard metric to fake, because if you want to just wash trade volume all day, you're going to lose a shit ton of money on fees.
BSC.
You can fake your daily active users. Cough, cough. Every other chain probably. Even on the L2s, don't tell me there's a million users on like some random L2. Like, people can't even figure out how to get an Ethereum wallet. So that's a really big deal. And after 2 years old, you see us up there on top 5 with like chains that are 5-6 years old. Like, we're killing it. We just need the market to turn around, I think.
Yeah. And not to go back to Charles too much, but he did kind of like throw shade at the community. He's like, oh, nothing's built on, nobody's active over there. And it's just like, bro, you haven't even looked, because we have like forks of just about anything you could imagine, and so much other stuff that's built on it that is contributing to said volume, like you just referenced. So
I can't even keep up with all the good shit that's coming out on PulseChain all the time. Like I hear about a project, I try to take a look at it. Now I know, but to say that we don't have any like innovation is insane. Like, some of the stuff that I hear about that people are trying to develop is, blowing my mind. It's cool.
I mean, I really do. I haven't gone super deep into Cardano, but I very strongly feel that we probably have more than Cardano on chain being built like today. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. They've been out for 7 years.
No, I think you're probably right. Guys,
I think we
newsflash.
do more on chain. Yeah.
I've got a company here, buildthetech.com, and I created this company so people could build stuff and not get wrecked. I've had a lot of clients, probably about 10 clients, 10 projects over the past 3 to 5 months here that we're going to be bringing to market. And a lot of those people some of them are building on ETH, but a lot of people are building on PulseChain. And there's a separation between just standard tokens, and then there's also infrastructure. So there are things that exist on other chains that PulseChain actually really needs, and we've got people that are investing large sums of money to bring that to market. And I'm going to kind of echo what Crypto Coffee had to say here. I'm not sure if any chain has launched with this community from like this sort of community from day one, right? You go back to ETH days, you go back to Cardano days. It's just a small group of people that were essentially VC funded, and maybe not VCs backed in with Ethereum, but there were pre-sales and there were people that had significant supply, but they didn't have half the community that we have now. So this is bullish. There are people that have a lot of money from the Hex days that are investing in infrastructure for PulseChain, and it's just going to take time, but we just got to stick around. It will get better. It's getting better every day. I can tell you that from firsthand experience with my company here.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, I think people who are active builders on Pulse, interested in what you got going on over there, Brandon.
Oh
So,
yeah. We've got a lot of interesting things that you guys are going to see come to market that are going to attract the attention of different players from other chains. There's things we don't have quite yet really nailed down. So once that starts coming out and people take a good look at what we have to offer, it's going to encourage other projects to bring different sorts of infrastructure again to PulseChain. And it all goes back to what Richard said. He says, go build it, guys. Like, that's what we're doing. That's build the tech we're building. We're not going to ask for permission. And if you guys have good ideas or anything, maybe it's a website. Maybe it's just some sort of a data website, or maybe it's just, it doesn't have to be a cryptocurrency. If it's PulseChain related, we'll build it for you. So just come talk to us.
Awesome.
I think that's a nice little segue for just the last thing I wanted to ask you about this show. And, you kind of segued it there a little bit, but, you teased it. You didn't really make direct mention of it. Maybe it wasn't exactly what you were talking about, but it has been put out there by one of the founders of these projects that has launched, bringing more eyes to PulseChain. And that's Titan Farms. And I know people get some people break out in hives when I, if I mention like a Titan X and cross, do the cross community thing. Sorry, somebody check on coffee. But Eric, who's the founder of Dragon X, has expressed interest in putting some altcoins from PulseChain, and integrating them into Titan Farms. So, maybe it's, and he's tweeted about it, so that's why I can, feel like I can bring it up. But could you offer any insight as to, how that could benefit the PulseChain side? Just speculation, maybe, even if you don't know, too much about it.
I mean, you look at daily active users for PulseChain. Maybe you got coffee. You probably know pretty well. Like, what are we averaging right now? Maybe 15,000.
Yeah, that's generous. I mean, maybe 10, 12.
Yeah, 10 to 12. And the interesting thing about the Titan X folks is these guys were on PulseChain, and Richard taught them, and they brought that over to Ethereum, but they attracted a whole other community over there from Ethereum that had no introduction to PulseChain whatsoever. So Eric has made it known that he wants to shift that over to PulseChain as well on many different occasions. How good is that? Well, I think it's pretty good because we're going to get fresh eyes, new people that haven't been involved in PulseChain, and then we're going to bring volume, and we're going to bring new financial energy over that way. So that's exciting. I don't see much of a negative effect there, especially.
What's the name of the project?
Well, Titan Farms.
Okay.
Titan Farms exists, but it's, I guess, listing some pairs of PulseChain coins on it, correct?
Yeah. Bridging it over, and so I think that there's going to come a day when both of these communities, have some sort of synergy together. I think that's already happening in a way. We'll see that very soon here. So again, guys, like, I don't see the negative of bringing those. And here's the thing too: people say if you create another project, Richard Hart coins aren't going to do as well. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Richard's going to let any meme coin stop his things from doing very well. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. Okay, that might be a little controversial, but ultimately we want PulseChain to be used. That's what it's there for. And, let's go freaking use it. Let's let other communities from other places come over and use it. And let's be as sticky, and let's put our tentacles as many places in crypto as we possibly can. That's my thought.
Dude. Gross.
It worked. You won't forget.
Yeah, a couple things like on.
I'm sorry. What is the website name, really quick?
For the farms. Is it Titan X Farms?
Or TitanFarms.win. I don't even.
Titan.
Probably have a bookmark somewhere.
TitanFarms.win.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess a couple things on that. Yeah, for your point of stickiness, and I just mentioned his name earlier, but Sai from Hex Toys and Tesseract, like he's building stuff like on the NFT and gaming front. Like that's how you kind of like get people to stick around, because if you have things that you want to use and interact with, I think that's the direction that chains need to go if you want that stickiness that you had mentioned. And to touch on just Eric, the founder of Dragon X, like he's an OG Hexagon. Probably has stacks of Richard Hart coins that a lot of the community would be impressed with. So he has interest in this community benefiting mightily. So yeah,
I think a good way for a project that claims to want to help like the Richard Hart projects is just like a good on-chain metric of that as well, how much liquidity is bonded together. Like you see that with the UFO token. Maybe one day there'll be a lot of Titan and Pulse liquidity, and that would be pretty cool because they get bonded, rising tide lifts all ships, and also the communities become a little more, we get to get some of those Titan people on chain.
That's going to happen. Yeah.
And the cool thing about farms is, like, I guess it's very selective about who gets listed on that. So, things have been pulled from it, but as long, I guess, Rags can kind of confirm this, is like the liquidity needs to be there for it to maintain, I guess, its farm. So
I think it would be there if like the community was actually intentional about being benevolent towards both, bridging that gap. Like some people will say, oh, my coin's good for this, but it's like, all right, well, tie some more liquidity to like Hex stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's up, Vets, man? How you
Thanks,
doing?
Vets. Hopefully we get to hang out a little bit more in Vegas next time if you're going to be there.
Yeah, I got to meet him in Chicago, I believe it was, for BigK's big day. Yeah. Any other events coming up, BigK, as we kind of like land the plane here?
Well, I think I had mentioned that we did a blockchain week event, a couple different things here in Puerto Rico in December. And there was some talk about them moving the dates on Puerto Rico's blockchain week up to earlier in this year, March or something like that. So if they do that, then I'll make sure that, I'll try and be active for that and do some, and, put something together for that as well. That would be the next thing that I'm like, I have in my eyes right now, besides other things that are going on already. But that's all for me right now. I'll just that maybe, and and they haven't released anything about it yet. So it's they just did the week and they kind of decided that I think that being earlier in the conference schedule is better than being at, nearly at Christmas time.
And as we're landing the plane, as I said earlier, you shield yourself, man. Where can we find you?
Oh, well, you can find me here, of course, at Big Krakowski on Twitter and on Telegram, or on X on Telegram. That's about it right now. Other than that, hanging out, chilling, getting ready for the next year, getting excited about what's to come.
Hey, Brandon, man, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. You had, I guess it was like a couple weeks ago, we were last on to round out the year. You had just launched Switch.win, which is like a DEX aggregator. How's that going? Anything else? Any updates on that? And tell us where we can also find you.
Yeah, we launched Switch.win. It's the beta, and the community has been great to help us find a lot of bugs that we're working out right now. It's going to be getting a facelift very soon as well, so it's going to look really, really nice. I preloaded wrapped assets from PulseChain, also eHex and the dropdowns, and I can do anything I want with it to add it. We're going to be improving the logic that's involved in finding the proper routes and paths for these tokens. Again, this is on the ETH side right now. But the idea here is, hopefully we see Obviously, Titanx assets permeate other places. PulseChain assets will be permeating other places. And I was just really frustrated that if you're on any other chain and you're trying to get eHex, for example, sometimes you got to jump through a lot of hoops. So now you'll just be able to, if your onboard is afraid from crossing the bridge, and gas is super low like it is right now, they could just pick up a bag of eHex or Rat Pulse, for example, if that's what they want to do. We've got it preloaded, made it very, very simple for people. So 2025 for me personally is going to be a year of building things like aggregators, things that have real utility, and then educational resources for people. We also have Morpheus.win. We're going to be really focusing on creating censorship resistance for anything that I bring to market as well. So I'm very excited overall, and then also some cool plans for PulseChain that you guys will see very soon here.
Nice.
Yep.
I like it. Coffee Man, I feel like you don't need to show yourself because you've been around this thing from the very beginning. But yeah, tell us what you're up to and where people can find you, man.
Yeah, Crypto Coffee 369 on X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Just gonna try to keep making better content, more compelling content, onboard more people, and just make better stuff. Make people feel something, hopefully, or learn something, and just try to make content that I would want to watch and help pump all of our bags and grow the community. That's it.
Yeah, man. And you've been doing it for years, and I appreciate it. Like whether it's like something newsworthy, your take on it, or educational, or live streams, keep it up, man. So thank you. Herbs, last one on the board, trivia winner. What you got going on? Where can we find you? What you working on next? And any other thoughts to
The only
round
place
it out? Where we could
only-
go from here regarding this SEC thing that we're all waiting on at the edge of a cliff.
Sure. Yeah. The only place you're ever going to find me is on X at Nuclear Herbs. I just want to say thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it. It's good to see you and BigK again. And Brandon, I lots of respect for you and the work that you do. Coffee, I love you, man. Been on with you a few times now in different places, and enjoy it every time. Yeah, like any day now, I swear, like anybody, like if anybody sees something before I do, text me, if you have my number, email me if you have my email, DM me if you on Twitter or whatever. Just let me know, and I'll do my best and to get out accurate information as fast as possible. Because all I want to do is try to keep, I feel like my job is to keep people from speculating and jumping off ledges and whatever the fuck else they want to do when they see some bad news out there. Just chill. Like really, there's nothing to worry about. Like if Richard's attorneys were worried, I'd be worried. If Richard was worried, I'd be worried. None of these things are happening. Richard either wins this now or he wins it later. I can't imagine that the SEC is going to eventually win this case, even if they pushed it to the limit, because they just don't have what they need. They just, it's just a matter of time. So hang in there. I know it sucks. It sucks for me too. I want number to go up just as much as anybody else does, but don't put too much emotional effort into this thing. I mean, Richard's going to prevail in this, whether, the question is what that's going to look like at the end, but eventually he's going to win this thing. I believe it with my whole heart. And I get that confidence from Richard's attorneys. So.
Nice. Love to hear it, brother. Thanks again for hopping on with us for what seemed like an hour, but it's been 2 already. Crazy. So
No, I usually avoid streaming, and I turn down more than I do because I just don't like it. It's another reason I don't put my face on here. I don't want to see myself on TV. But, I've enjoyed the 2 times I've been on with you guys so far. So I mean, like, feel free to ask if you want me back. I'd be happy to come back.
Always
Awesome,
willing to
man.
have you back, man. Thank you so much. And we hear that a lot, BigK. Like people really like our show. It's like an
Yeah.
easygoing kind of chill vibe. No, it really
It is a good
Yeah.
vibe. It's a good vibe. I like it.
Yeah, good stuff. That's why we do what we do, and just bring a chill take on the news
All the
and
madness
topics
out
of
there.
the week. Yeah. So I thank you guys in chat, Trevor, SJ, Tarnweig, and everyone else with the love.
Love you, SJ.
Yeah.
You're like you're probably my favorite person.
Miss Positivity, Princess Positivity. She does like spaces, I guess, every week with Shilly too, right?
Yeah, those have been pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and he was a guest, I guess, a few weeks back, and
Mhm.
we need more of that. And he was onboarded, I think, by Hexo, just sending him some crypto and say, "Hey, man, check this out." And what's a small bag of pulse? It doesn't cost that much. So if there's a target out there, let us know. Maybe we can try to onboard them ourselves. Anybody on this show? So anyway, shout out to Hexo on that one. Thanks, gents. It's been a great week. Conference all week, 5th annual. This show's been around for like 5 years because of everybody that's guys like this panel right here, guys and ladies in the chat that we have, and a big thank you as we start 2025 with another year of shows. So just stay tuned to the socials, Cabana Crypto, on X, all platforms really, and especially on X, we'll just put our show times on there. Thank you, Maddie Allen, for the compliment, and
Thanks, Maddie.
Putting
Thanks,
on
Maddie.
putting on that conference, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Paul.
you. Appreciate everyone else. Thank you, everybody, and cheers.